So families have had to endure delays in burying their loved ones due to Home Affairs operating at reduced capacity, in part because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The recent civil unrest worsening the backlog in getting death certificates due to the disruptions of services in KZN and KwaZulu-Natal. Let's bring in the leader of the Home Affairs delegation, Mosa Chabane, ahead of the Portfolio Committee's oversight visit to these two provinces. Mosa, great to have you on the program. Thanks for making time. Let me just gauge from you what you're hoping to be able to get out of these inspection visits or oversight visits in the week ahead.
Morning to you and morning to your viewers. The Portfolio Committee is conducting an oversight in both provinces, in Gauteng and KZN, and the intention is to look on what are the challenges which our people are facing as a result of this unrest in the two provinces, in the service delivery that has been negatively impacted.
What are you hearing about how the services have been disrupted because of the civil unrest?
You'll notice that, in the previous unrest, there were offices which were temporarily closed in the two provinces. I mean, in Gauteng, there were almost 17 offices that have been closed, and in KZN, and 58 offices that have been closed. But in the main, there were few offices that have been vandalized, and that has contributed negatively to rendering services as per the mandate of Home Affairs. Hence, the Portfolio Committee is going to conduct an oversight so that it will assess the intervention that government has made, the Department of Home Affairs has made since the unrest, and where there are challenges, how the Portfolio Committee can assist the department to more intervene so that our people get services for their services that they need to be rendered by the Department of Home Affairs.
Do you know how many offices were disrupted? And I'm only asking this because it's going to give us an idea of how quickly we can get back to operating at a desirable level.
There were almost 58 offices which were disrupted, and 17 in Gauteng and KZN. But there are two offices which have been vandalized in KZN. In Gauteng, we're going to visit the Parakwana offices that have been vandalized in Mamelodi. So these are directly impacting on the services to our people. You know that, as we've indicated in our intro, if you don't have certain services that need to be rendered to our people, it causes backlog on the work of the Home Affairs, but also it impacts negatively to the service that members has to receive, members of the public has to receive. Hence, we as the Portfolio Committee, we are going to conduct this oversight. But the objective is also to come back and assess what extent the department has intervened, and where they have not intervened, how far can we go as a Portfolio Committee to assist the department to intervene on the issues that the members will be raising, both the staff and the committee members that will be interacting with in these respective areas.
Yeah, when you speak of intervention, tell us a bit more about what you mean by that. What can the Portfolio Committee actually do in a context where, for instance, infrastructure has been destroyed?
You remember that since the unrest, the Deputy Minister visited in particular KZN at Eshowe, where the office was vandalized. There were tools of trade that were stolen, and the Minister and the Director General visited in Gauteng some of the offices. So part of the work that we need to ascertain is that the intervention that both the Ministerial and Director General and also the component of the staff have intervened so that the service are rendered. And we want to assess whether those intervention has been made. Hence, we are conducting this oversight in the two provinces.
How quickly do you reckon the services will be able to operate again after the inspection?
No, the services will not. The services has not been tempered in the main, because, as I indicated, that the Deputy Minister has visited some of the offices here in KZN, and the Minister and the team has visited in Gauteng. So our understanding is that their visit has contributed to intervention, given the impulse of the unrest. The Portfolio Committee will ascertain the two areas of the intervention, and where there's still a weakness of intervention, we'll have to interact with the department to fast-track those interventions. But in terms of the tools of trade, at least the department has moved into, to assist in particular these offices. The vandalized offices that are still closed, other services have been shifted, in particular to other nearby offices. But in the main, will do an overall assessment post our visit as the portfolio committee.
Yeah, we've heard from funeral parlors also mentioning that they've struggled to get death certificates, especially for some of their clients who've had family members pass on due to COVID-19. But it's an issue that stretches way before the pandemic. Certain funeral parlors feeling that the way Home Affairs currently operates makes it difficult for them to actually be, call it, active players in the space. How far-reaching is your oversight visit today? In other words, are you restricting it just to assessing the impact caused by the unrest, or could it even stretch to address the issues like the one I've just outlined?
No, our oversight in the main is focused on the unrest. But beyond that, some of the issues that were raised will interact with our members. You know that in the previous months there was a strike as a result of the issues that were raising, and have directed the department to interact with this matter. And once we will get a comprehensive report from the department on how they've dealt with the matter, we'll be able to pronounce ourselves or recommend to assist in resolving this matter. But as we stand now, the matter has been referred to the department, and we are assured by both the minister and the deputy minister that this matter has been interacted with by the stakeholders. I think it's important that we come closer to our people, we resolve the issues that our people and society in general, in terms of the service that has to be rendered. We'll look closely on the matter that we're raising as part of oversight, but we did raise the matter with the department, and when we reopen, the matter is going to be in table so that the department give us a detailed brief in the manner that they've resolved this matter and what will be the obstacle moving forward. But we can assure that the issues that have been raised with the portfolio committee and those that we are referring to, the department is dealing with.
Right. Speak to us about when you expect the Home Affairs departments to be back at full capacity on the back of the sector now being allowed to have vaccinations carried out. As Parliament, as far as you're concerned, by when should the department be able to essentially operate at its full capacity?
You know that we are under regulations, and there are certain areas, certain services that must be rendered. Our government is trying at all costs in all various departments, including Department of Home Affairs, to contribute and render service to our people. So Department of Home Affairs is at hand in terms of giving services to our people, in terms of the areas that our people will be seeking. I must say that there are services which I think all of us, you need your ID, you need your birth certificate, you need your birth registration. Those are the services in the main that the department is raising, and other services that you as an individual, when you go to Home Affairs, you will be receiving. It must be clear that we're working under regulations, and even in this space, there will be certain services that government will struggling to render because of the specific areas that were focused on the Department of Affairs. But of interest is that the areas where all of us were coerced is for government to render services to our people, and part of the work that we are conducting as various committees, including Home Affairs, is to make sure that services are rendered by our Department of Home Affairs. And I'm sure that once the committee has conducted its oversight, we'll be able to have a sense on the issues that are challenged to our people and the department in terms of the service that must render.
Mosa Chabane, thanks very much indeed for your time. I appreciate your speaking to us on the AM report. Mosa Chabane is a member of the Home Affairs Parliamentary Portfolio Committee. Once again, thanks very much indeed.